What's going on, guys? Sean here, coming at y'all with a quick little video. Just want to talk about last night's game. I obviously cannot remember every play from the game, but we're just going to go over a couple things real quick. First thing I want to talk about is Jalen Carter spitting on Dak. I want to talk about Jihad Campbell. I want to talk about, the wide receiver core being kind of quiet, a great first start, but a really slow second half. I want to cover everything. I'm going to cover as much as I can, and we'll come back later and we'll do another more condensed video. But this is the next morning first reaction on the way to work. So here's what I got for you guys. First things first, I want to talk about how the game started. From the very beginning of this game, you knew it was going to be some bullshit. You knew, and please subscribe. Appreciate you guys for watching. But this first 10 seconds of the game broadcast, you knew there was going to be some bullshit. Dak spits at Jalen Carter. Jalen Carter walks up and then spits on Dak, which is stupid. I won't be defending Jalen Carter for spitting on Dak. It does piss me off that Dak spit first and that little smirk that he has, because he thinks he's untouchable, just to lose the game too on top of it, which is even more hilarious. You could tell it was all just a mind game, and Jalen Carter fell for it, hook, line, and sinker. Fucking unacceptable. I hope Vic Fangio tears a fucking hole in his ass for that, because honestly, spitting is disgusting, guys. It's just fucking gross to me. Dak spitting at the D-line is fucking disgusting, and Jalen Carter spitting on Dak's chest is fucking disgusting. So both things can be true. It's really fucking annoying, and you just hate to see that happen. This game would have been night and day different with Jalen Carter on the field, and because of that, now luckily Byron Young, Jordan Davis, Moro Ojomo, there were a lot of guys that stepped up, although Ojomo was getting stonewalled a lot from what I remember. Now, I could be wrong about that again. I only watched it once. It was late, but I did not see much from him. Jordan Davis, Byron Young, I've seen a ton of movement, a lot of pressures in the backfield, run stops in the backfield. Zach Bond. I know we don't have to talk about Zach Bond, but was there not a part of you that when he signed that extension that, there's every Eagle fan out there is like, what if it was a one-hit wonder? What if it was a one-year thing? What if that was it and we get nothing else from Zach Bond? It was so amazing. That chase down tackle on Miles Sanders. I mean, to have a linebacker that's that fast. I mean, I don't think people understand how fast Zach was running to catch Miles Sanders on that play. And might I add, it could have been a game-saving play. It was a game-saving play. In all reality, we forced a turnover one play later, so it just, who knows what would have happened if Miles scores there, because our offense was so unbelievably stagnant. And luckily, we were able to put the game away at the end, but, it looked like we were not able to do much offensively in the second half at all, which is really, really concerning. What else did we want to talk about? Jalen Hurts. Let's talk about our Super Bowl MVP coming out here and carrying the team. Now, he didn't have 300 yards. He didn't have 30 pass attempts, so he'll never get the credit that he deserves for it. Jalen came out here and carried this team. Saquon had a few good runs, few good plays, but for the most part, they held Saquon in check. It was up to Jalen Hurts and, to go out and win this game, and that's exactly what he did. Michael Jordan in attendance, I don't care about all that. You could have whoever you want in the stadium. Jessica Simpson, was a curse for Tony Romo, and they still kept bringing her back to the stadium. I don't really pay too much attention or care too much about that. I just wanted to make fun of Tony Romo. But, he's never going to get the credit he deserves. It's just, as long as he has two legs and he runs one touchdown in a year, he's never going to get the credit he deserves. 2 touchdowns tonight, and by the end of the year, they'll say they're all tush-push yards. 2 rushing touchdowns when the passing game broke down, when we had nowhere to go with the ball. You know, it was amazing. It was an amazing performance. You know, Jalen Hurts is just getting better and better and better. And it's really gotten to the point to where there's not a person in the NFL that I would trade him for, because there's no reason. You have the most winning quarterback in the NFL. And I don't know if that's a thing. I don't know if that's a real stat, or, you know, like, can we go out and find that he really is the winningest quarterback ever? I mean, he just doesn't lose. And I don't know how you could want anybody else on your team. Tyler Steen for Mekhi Becton. I thought Tyler looked really good. There was a block on a touchdown that I remember off the top of my head. He sealed the inside, and Jalen walked right around him into the end zone. That was beautiful. Absolute poetry with Jalen Hurts and his running today. What else was there? You know, new offensive coordinator. All right. New offensive coordinator. No preseason. Division rival week 1 in a hostile environment, where the game gets stopped due to lightning for an hour, and you still win the game. I feel really good about our offensive coordinator so far. I will go back and rewatch the game at some point. You know, I want to see what kind of passing schemes and running schemes they're using. I want to see if there was anything really new that he brought to the table. I did see a couple things that I don't remember seeing before, but again, I want to look over all that before I make any judgment. I mean, I think this, for the first start of the season, for a new offensive coordinator, I think it was, I want to say as good as you can expect, but that's not, you know, it wasn't that. It was really solid. It was really, really solid. 3 scores on 3 drives to start the game. Dink and dunk passing, running the ball well, and Jalen Hurts just being absolutely unstoppable. That's my problem here. That's why I struggle to say that it was as good as you could hope for, because as good of a game plan as it was, and as good as our OC was in the first half, Jalen was lights out, unstoppable. So how much of that was just Jalen's refusal to lose, and how much of that was the actual play calling? Because play calling wise, you know, you've seen one deep shot to Jahan Dotson, and then you've seen a lot of underneath stuff. A couple passes to Saquon, to Will Shipley, to Devontae, to Dallas. You know, just a lot of short dink and dunks over the middle, underneath stuff. We're going to have to see more. I will say I felt good about it. I felt really good about it. I think Dallas's defense adjusted really well in the second half. I think our defense adjusted really well in the second half. People are talking about how bad of a game Adoree Jackson had, and yeah, it wasn't good, but we didn't sign Adoree Jackson thinking he was going to be good. That's what cracks me up. Like, we've been talking shit all summer about Adoree Jackson, and there's a ton of people out here that were acting like they were surprised on Twitter. Oh, Adoree's getting burnt. Yeah, the Giants let him go. What does that tell you? You know, it was a problem. We traded for the solution. He's just not ready yet. Jacorian Bennett will get better and better, and he'll end up starting. Now, will he be better than Adoree? I have no idea. But you have to give him time, give him a chance to develop, and to see what you actually have. And I think once you do, we'll be just fine. I think cornerback 2, with time this season, will get a lot better. Andrew Mambuka, I'm butchering that. The new safety, Andrew, he actually, I didn't even like see him do anything in the first half. It wasn't until the second half that you finally started to hear him, see him. He started making some noise, started looking good. But again, you really didn't see much, really didn't hear much, and that's a shame. I was hoping to see and hear more of him from the start of the game. But again, a rookie. He will grow. He will get better with time, and I think he'll be all right long term. Sidney Brown cannot tackle without running his head into someone's chest, which is really annoying, and he's never going to be a healthy player in the NFL because he can't tackle for shit, which is really a shame. We covered Saquon. A.J. Brown had 1 catch, 1 target at the very end of the game. That's disgusting. I could tell you just from watching the TV broadcast that there were at least a couple times where AJ should have been the target. I don't know if it was by plan. I don't know if Smitty is supposed to be wide receiver 1 this year. I don't know what it is, but I can tell you right now, it was disgusting. He deserves better. He deserves more targets. He's our best receiver. Treat him like it, pure and simple. Treat him like it. I feel like when our offense went stagnant and when things were slowing down and Jalen was kind of cooling off a little bit, it would have been the perfect opportunity. You hit AJ for a slant. They're playing that zone coverage all night. There's no reason why you can't catch them slacking, hit AJ, boom, big play, get the offense started again. Also, it seemed like we were obsessed with running in between the tackles today, which, if it's working, that's fine. But it seemed like we were having a lot more success running to the outside. So it doesn't really make sense why we wanted to run in between the tackles as bad as we did. I felt like that was kind of a detriment to the play calling. We were just calling the same thing over and over and over. And I heard Al Michaels and Chris Collinsworth talking about, it's like a good boxer. You got to jab, and then set them up with the haymaker. Yeah, well, it doesn't matter if you're not setting them up with anything. The jabs are useless if they're just putting you behind the sticks and making it impossible to convert on 3rd down. So that's a problem. I don't know, guys. I don't think I got much more right now. I mean, there's a lot more, but I think that's about all I got right now. I can tell you guys right now, this is going to be a really interesting season. We're going to have a lot of fun. I think the Eagles just get better and better and better. I think that we have a really good chance of repeating. I really like this team. Yes, tackling needs to get better. Yes, Jalen Carter needs to be better. But guys, let's remember, we got a cornerback that's coming up. He'll be there a couple weeks. Shit, maybe next week he'll be starting. We got a young rookie safety. Jalen Carter was not in this game. Jahad Campbell, this is his first action. And again, he's another one in the first half. Didn't hear much, didn't see much. Second half, started making a lot of noise. I am so sorry, guys. It is going to get better. Defense is definitely going to get better. We just have to give it time. With that being said, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, for listening to me ramble at 6:50 in the morning. I'm going to upload this as fast as I can. It's probably not going to get a real edit because I just don't have the time today before work. So just tell me what you guys think. Tell me what I missed. I'll try to do another video on my way home or maybe later tonight, and we'll cover a little bit more stuff. But 24-20, Eagles win. Wasn't pretty, doesn't need to be. We beat Dallas. It's the best way you can hope to start the season. I love you guys. Please like, please subscribe. Thank you so much for tuning in. Y'all have a great day. I love y'all. Peace.